I'm 22 years old now. I say that out loud sometimes, just to hear how it sounds, because it feels like I've been handed a life without instructions. Everyone says this is the age where everything is supposed to begin. But most mornings are quiet in a way that doesn't feel peaceful. It feels suspended, like I'm standing at the edge of something I don't fully understand. And I keep thinking about how everything still feels reversible. How I believe, almost automatically, that there will always be more time. I live alone. Not in a dramatic way. There's no sadness built into the walls. Just a small apartment that's clean enough, with a window that lets in the afternoon sun when I remember to open the blinds. The silence doesn't scare me. What unsettles me is how easily I'm getting used to it. Like I'm practicing for a future I don't mean to choose. When I talk about it with people my age, we don't call it loneliness. We call it being busy. At 22, the world is already changing faster than I can follow. Machines write, predict, answer, optimize. We joke about it with nervous laughter. We say computers will never really understand us, never replace real connection. But sometimes, I wonder if they don't have to understand us. Maybe they just have to be easier than each other. I sit in my childhood bedroom when I visit home, laptop balanced on my knees, and then my phone buzzing beside me with the notifications I don't open, messages from friends asking if I want to come out, if I'm free, if I'm okay. I tell myself I'll reply later. I always tell myself that. Instead, I stay in and work. I learn new tools. I adapt. Everyone says I have to, or I'll be left behind. And I believe them. There's a strange pride in how quickly I can adjust, how I can make myself useful to a future that hasn't fully arrived yet. My friendships are still intact, but I can feel the edges softening. Plans get postponed, replies get shorter, conversations turn into updates, and sometimes updates dissolve into silence. Nothing dramatic happens, no fights, no clear endings. Just a gradual thinning I pretend not to see. I tell myself I'm reinventing who I am, that I'm evolving, that the people who don't move at the same pace simply don't understand where the world is going. But if I'm honest, there's fear underneath all of that. A fear of being ordinary, of becoming unnecessary before I've even had the chance to matter. And the promise of constant progress whispers that I can stay relevant if I just keep moving fast enough. I think about the life I'm building in fragments. Career milestones that sound impressive when I say them out loud. Skills stacked on top of skills. I imagine future rooms where people will ask me for advice, where I'll look composed and certain. And in those imagined futures, relationships always exist in the background, waiting patiently, as if they can be picked up whenever I decide I have time. Sometimes I wonder if that patience is something I've invented. I eat many of my meals alone. Not unhappily, just efficiently. It feels practical, productive. I tell myself this is temporary. That later, when I'm established, when things settle, I'll widen my life again, I'll reconnect, I'll slow down. The word later carries a comforting weight. I lean on it more than I admit. Every now and then, a quiet recognition slips in. A sense that the small choices I'm making are shaping me in ways I won't notice until much later. That presence and slowness. The ordinary accumulation of shared moments aren't things you can store for future use. You either live them now, or you don't. From the outside, it probably looks like ambition. And it is. But it's also a negotiation with time, a quiet bargain where I keep trading pieces of the present for a version of the future that always seems just out of reach. When I think about what I'll remember decades from now, I suspect it won't be the polished achievements I'm chasing. It will be smaller things. Sitting on the floor with friends, eating takeout, talking about nothing important. Laughter that isn't productive. Time that isn't optimized. Those moments feel fragile, like something I have to protect consciously or risk losing by accident. If you're listening to me and you're my age, or close to it, I won't pretend I have answers. I'm still inside the question. But I'm starting to understand something that feels important. You don't lose people all at once. You lose them slowly, by assuming they'll still be there later, by believing efficiency carries the same weight as meaning, by mistaking constant adaptation for wisdom. I want to adapt. I want to grow. But I'm beginning to see that survival and connection aren't the same thing. Being useful isn't the same as being remembered. Because you are present. I'm not cynical about the future. I'm excited by it in many ways. I want to see how the world changes. And I want to change with it. But I'm learning that some things don't update. They simply fade if you don't tend to them. Most evenings, I sit by my window as the light fades. My phone rests beside me, full of names and possibilities. I still have time to reach across that distance. I remind myself of that, gently. And I hope that while I'm busy reinventing who I am, I remember that some versions of me are worth keeping, even if they aren't efficient. And if there's one life lesson I'm learning, even at 22, it's this. Don't wait for some perfect future version of your life to start being present in it. Ambition matters. Growth matters. But the people who walk beside you while you're building your life are not background details. They are the life you're building. Success feels different when it's shared. Time feels richer when it's witnessed. And the moments that seem small today are often the ones that shape your heart the most. If this story resonates with you, share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Maybe we're all trying to find the same balance in our own ways. Thank you for listening to me and for sharing this quiet space with my story. Thanks to the divine for the time and perspective to reflect. And thank you to each of you for watching and for listening to me.